So this will be our super basic video on REITs. So if you don't have any experience yet on the stock market, you are a real estate investor and want to dabble into this new asset class, then this video is for you. Check this video out. Hey guys, so I know I've been doing a lot of REITs videos lately, but those are your questions. I've received so many questions regarding REITs, and what I've realized is this, because since this is a new asset class, this is something that the Philippines has never had before, we are getting a lot of people who are gaining a lot of interest on it, meaning a lot of real estate investors who have no stock market experience that are getting interested on REITs, getting interested on this new asset class. We also have a lot of savers who, as you all know, as of this video, interest rates are massively down. If interest rates are massively down, your IMAs, your LTNCDs, your bonds won't be giving you as much interest rates or interest. You're not going to earn as much interest from it. Even the bonds that were released by the government, which are good, which are safe, but as of today, if you want a larger amount of return, you may not be able to get it. And that's why I think there's a lot of people trying to dabble into this, trying to figure out if REITs is something for them. And if you are someone who's investing in the stock market, I created a lot of videos already about REITs, and this may be something that you might have heard already before or you may have experienced before. So if you may think that parang nadinig ko na yun parang this is something that is a bit too basic for me, because this video is really for the 99% of the population that's not yet invested in the stock market, that's not yet too familiar of what REITs is all about. That's why what I said in the intro is very, very true. This is our super basic video on REITs, because the goal and the heart of this is to give people instructions on how they can start. So I just divided the video. I think it will be in three broad categories, but it's basically the three top questions that people have asked me throughout this entire tenure of the offering of REITs. And as you all know, by the time this video is out, there's still two disclosures on REIT listings. That's the Ayala REIT and also the Double Dragon REIT, which is happening a few weeks or months from the time this video will be out as well. So by the way, since this is a basic video on REITs and you want to know more, I've putting some videos that are popping here. They're all in the description below. If you want to know more about what REITs are, there are REITs that are coming out and everything else that's not included in this video. So this is not an all-encompassing video that after you watch this, you know everything already. This is just a primer to answer a lot of the basic questions, because I realized that there's a lot of basic questions that came out from all of this. So by the way, if you were watching this for the first time, REITs is Real Estate Investment Trust. So basically, I'm saying to make it super simple, but for you to grab a better explanation, they're in the links, but it's a hybrid between the stock market and real estate investing, meaning REITs give you exposure to real estate slash rental income by buying it via the stock market. It's like you going into the stock market but having the potential of real estate related income. But in essence, REITs is basically a derivative. But this is the top question that I would normally get. So how do you get REITs? I'm just getting this for the first time. I'm hearing this for the first time. It's all over the news. It's all over social media. A lot of people are talking about it. My bank manager is telling me to take a look at it, to analyze it, to study it, to invest in it. Since I mentioned that it's like you going into the stock market, but for real estate slash rental income, it's just like you buying stocks that's going into an IPO. I repeat, for you to be able to avail of REITs, it's just like you buying stocks that you are availing in an IPO. So before you even go into an IPO and before you even buy stocks, of course, you need to know what you're buying, you need to study it. But for you to have access, you need what you call a stock broker or stock brokerage. It could be a platform, it could be an app, it could be an online website, it could be a person. But basically, a brokerage is the middleman. They're the one licensed by the PSE to accept your money, and to be able also to make the transaction so that you have access to the stock exchange. No, you cannot open it directly without a brokerage. You need a brokerage firm for you to be able to do it. And please be wary, there's been a lot of scams where people will ask the money from you. They're saying that they're representing this. To make sure that you are transacting with right people, Philippine Stock Exchange has the list of legit brokers. But in the same way also, I'm gonna put videos are coming out here of some brokerages that I've reviewed, and link is in the description below also if you wanna watch them as well. But to make it super simple, you need to have brokerages. And then again, also, if you want to invest in REITs outside the Philippines, if you watch my other videos, I mentioned that REITs are not just available in the Philippines, but REITs have been prevalent already in other countries around the world. So you just need also to have a broker that has exposure to the country where you are analyzing it and watching it and getting into. So if you want to buy a REIT in Singapore, basically you need to have a brokerage that has exposure to Singapore. If you want to buy a REIT in the Philippines, you need to have a brokerage that's exposed to the Philippines. If you want to buy REITs in the States, you need to have a brokerage that's exposed to the US as well. If you want to know about the steps on how you can open a broker, again, they're in the description below, they're in the links below, brokerage videos that you can also watch. Next, after you already have your broker, please remember it also takes, there's a turnaround time also from the time you watch this, from the time you apply, from the time your account gets approved. That also takes some time. So if you have it in your heart to start already, my suggestion is you act now, you do it now, and you start opening an account. Because if you do not start opening an account, then you won't have any access to it as well. Now, my assumption already, you already have your account, or you're a person who already has a brokerage account. It goes back to what I said also earlier. It's like you buying a stock in an IPO. Meaning, if it's not yet listed in the stock exchange, then you cannot buy it yet. You have to wait until the offering period. During the offering period, that's when orders will be taken, will be lodged for people who want to be part of this particular REIT. So after that, in my experience, so for IPOs here, what normally would happen is you would say, okay, I want this much shares for this particular stock. And of course, the price, you can't dictate the price because it's something already that will be given. So whatever the price is multiplied by the number of shares that you would want, that's the amount that you would have to pay for. Now, people are asking this. Is there a chance that if I want to get 10,000 shares, will I get 10,000 shares? That's also dependent on how much people, how much investors are interested on the stock that you want to buy. Of course, if it's oversubscribed, if there's a lot of people so interested in it, there's a chance that you may not get any, or there's a chance that, for example, you want to get 10,000 shares, you might get lesser than that, so that a lot of people also get accommodated. Please remember, it's not just you, it's not just me also interested on investing. There are the large amounts of money, as what I've mentioned in the previous videos, come from institutions. And if it's a very large company where there's a lot of institutional tracking and there's a lot of foreign investors interested in it, quote unquote, that will have a large pie on the IPO that's coming or in the listing that's happening. So now, let's just say for this particular purpose that you got your allocation, you got your 10,000 shares. So what's going to happen is you would have to fund your account. Whoever your brokerage platform is, you need to have an amount of money there, and then it will get deducted. It will be debited right before the listing date. Make sure you have your money deposited because that's the amount of money that they will use also, and they will deduct from your account for you to be able to get those shares. Next, I mentioned this in the other videos that after the offering period, you have the listing date. That listing date, for example, on an IPO, is when the company moves from private to public, meaning anyone can buy and sell that company. So if you came in during the offering period, you will have your shares during the listing date. That's when it will reflect on your portfolio. That's when it will reflect that you have this stock with this number of shares and this is its current value during this point in time. The next question is this: what if I'm not able to buy during the offering period? How can I buy the REIT? How can I have a shot? For example, I've got some questions that, paano yan, Marvin, yung pera ko hindi pa aabot ng ganito kadami, kung malapit na yun, I won't be able to get as much. Remember what I said, listing period. after it gets listed, it's now like a normal stock where for those who are not yet invested in the stock market, it's basically this. If the stock is listed in the market, if the stock is listed in the stock exchange, anyone who has a brokerage account can buy or sell it already. So the difference lang is when you buy it during the listing or even after the listing, the price that you will buy it already will be dependent on what the market price is. Meaning, it may be higher than the listing price or it may be lower than the listing price. So no one knows what the price will be at any given point in time. No one knows what the price will be at any given point in time should you want to buy it. So for those who already want to lock in a price that they want to buy the REIT, they normally go for the IPO price because they can already compute this will be my cost. But for those who want to monitor it, who want to watch it, because there's, again, when it's in the market already, it will be subject to supply and demand. It will be subject to market forces already. It has a potential to go up, meaning if it has a potential to go up, if you have cash, you will have to buy it at a higher price. In the same way, it also has the potential to go down. So to answer your question, if you are not able to get the stock during the offering period, you can get it already once it becomes listed in the market. Basically, that answers the first question. How do you get REITs? You need to have a brokerage account first. You need to fund that account. And then after funding that account, either via the offering period or when it's already inside the market, that's when you can buy it. But essentially, the most important thing is the brokerage because it's what gives you access to be able to buy and sell the REIT that you want. Next, number 2, minimum amount to invest. And after this video, I think it will be a few days after this, we have a video again with David Lee Chu, one of the greatest, in my opinion, real estate / property consultants in the Philippines in this era. And he's gonna talk about why you need to invest in REITs, especially if your capital is not in the hundreds of millions. If your capital is 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, why is REIT so interesting? But now, people are asking, 5 million? Parang kung wala akong 5 million, how can I invest? Should I still invest? So if it's like a stock, then it's not supposed to be expensive. Why? Because here's the thing. In the stock market, there's what you call a board lot. The board lot is the minimum multiple of shares that's required for you to be able to buy a stock. Meaning, the more expensive stocks, the one that have higher stock prices, the board lots are smaller, some of them 5, some of them 10, and the ones that are lower in price, then it suddenly increases naman. The lower stock prices have board lots of around 100, 1,000, etc. So what does that mean? If you're buying a stock, for example, at around 3 pesos, and say the board lot is 1,000, so it's 3 times 1,000, you only pay 3,000 pesos. In the same way, if the stock is say 30, close to where the Ayala REIT is, the board lot for that is around 100. So 30 times 100, it's around 3,000 pesos. So why am I saying this? Because the REIT is just like a stock market investment, or it's basically in the stock market. It's much, 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 much cheaper than buying tangible real estate assets. So why am I saying this? Please take note of this. For 3,000 pesos, for 5,000 pesos, for 10,000 pesos, you can have access, you can have exposure to real estate / rental income via the real estate market. Whereas, think about this very, very well. If you want to buy your own condo, it would cost you 5 million, 7 million, 10 million, 20 million pesos. Meaning, not a lot of Filipinos have 10 million pesos. Not a lot of Filipinos have 20 million pesos. Not a lot of Filipinos can even have the down payment for them to be able to buy a condo. However, the majority of the population has the ability to have 5,000 pesos, 10,000 pesos, meaning this will unlock a world of opportunity for people who do not have access to buy their own property. So if you want to have exposure to real estate, when I say real estate, rental income for whatever REIT that will be out there, please remember a REIT can be a mall, it can be a hospital, it can be a warehouse, it can be a hotel, it can be a data center, anything that can give you the potential to earn via rental income, that could be made as a REIT. But as you all know, based on the previous videos that I made on REITs, for the Philippines, part of the law is it has to be in an area where there's still a great amount of either appreciation or at least traffic, that the place will be still relevant for the next 20 to 30 years, so that it protects us as investors, that the REIT that you're buying won't be in areas that won't have any, I guess, transactions or any traffic at all, because as you all know, when it comes to real estate, traffic is very, very important, the amount of people in a particular area, because if there's not a lot of people there, then the rental won't be as good. Just to drill this further, you don't need to be a millionaire for you to be able to invest in REITs. All you need is thousands, and not even the high thousands, just a few thousands. Please remember, since this is an investment, it still has to be extra money, money that you won't touch for a very, very long time, money that you don't need to be liquid, money that if it drops in value, you are okay with it. That's what I'm trying to say. So even if it's a small amount, please do not put your emergency fund here, do not put your buffer fund here, do not put your savings here. If you're getting married in the next few months, do not put whatever amount of money that you have for your wedding here. You just need a small amount of money. You don't need millions for you to be able to start buying REITs. Mas mahal pa minsan yung rubber shoes na pinili nyo. Mas mahal pa minsan yung cellphone na binibili nyo. Mas mahal pa minsan yung laptop, yung gadget na binibili nyo kesa maging shareholder ng REITs. And I keep saying this all the time, it's okay to buy stuff. Pero, pondohan nyo na muna yung pangarap nyo. Pondohan nyo muna yung kinabukasan nyo as compared to buying stuff that you don't need. So, number one, again, how to get into REITs, you need a brokerage. Number two, minimum amount to invest, you need a small amount of money, even less than 10,000 pesos. Number three, and I've been getting a lot of questions about this. People are asking about the lock-in period, meaning I've got a lot of people asking me questions that, what if I buy during the offering period? Is there a lock-in period that I won't be able to sell it given this number of days after the listing? Just to share, the REITs that I've bought overseas, I did not participate in IPOs. Most of the REITs that I bought already were existing in the market. And the reason why I bought it also was the yield at that time when I started to buy it. It was something that was already appealing for me. It was something that I knew, given the current makeup of stocks that I liked for dividends. It was something that was already okay for me. It was something that was already acceptable for me. So even if I did not buy it during the listing, I was already okay with it. And that's what I want to submit to you. If you are watching this and then the REITs that you want are already listed in the market, just compute, is the dividend yield good enough already for me? If it is, then you can go for it. Again, I'll say this over and over. The whole goal for you investing in it is one, dividends. And if the dividend yield is already something that's acceptable for you, then go for it. It's not something that you have to compare it with other people. So anyways, let's continue. Comment if you're learning. Comment if this is something that's helping you. Comment if this is something that's good. So back to the lock-in period. Basically, for stocks that go into IPOs, the lock-in period, as far as I know, are for people or shareholders that have at least 10% of the outstanding common shares based on the listing date. And then they're the ones that have to be locked in for around 180 days, or roughly around 6 months. So if you are just a retail investor, you have minimal shares, you can sell it anytime like any other stock in the market. Meaning you buy it Monday, you can sell it Tuesday, or you buy it Monday 10 a.m., you can sell it Monday 12 noon. That's how normal stocks work, and that's how the REITs that I've bought in other countries work as well. If there are other rules for REITs in the Philippines that I have not seen yet, I'll try to read up on it also, and I'll try to research on it. But please remember this, the reason why it's in the stock market is because the stock market gives assets liquidity. The stock market allows you that if you want to buy and sell something, you can easily liquidate it, you can easily sell it, you can easily get out of that position. And that's, I think, one of the biggest worst. If you are a real estate person watching this and have no stocks yet, if you're a saver watching this and have no investments yet in the market, I think that's one of the biggest. Or if you are into real estate, you know how hard it is to be able to find a seller or a buyer of a particular property. But for this instance, since it's liquid, since it's in the market, it's easier for you to dispose it and to get rid of it. Or if you want to add some more, you can do it also at any time. The whole context of people getting into REITs and getting into the market is because it's basically liquid. So I hope you got that. I hope this was something that was encouraging for all of you. By the way, my name is Marvin Germo. I'm a stock market trader and investor, and I've been investing in the market for more than a decade now. And if you want to know more about investing in the markets, about stuff like this, I create daily videos, and I appreciate it if you can subscribe, like, and smash the bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about investing, about the market. And I just have one goal in mind. The reason why I keep doing videos like this, bukod sa gusto ko siya, bukod sa it's something that makes me feel alive, is because I want to change the narrative of how Filipinos live their lives, that you can invest, that you can make money, that you can make your money work hard for you wherever you are. And if there's one thing that you've seen in this video, you don't need millions to start. Don't wait until you get the millions to start. Start where you are, right here, right now, and then let your money grow until you hit that million, until you hit the amount that you want to get, until you hit your goals of financial freedom. Because please remember, don't limit yourself as an employee, that you cannot invest in the stock market, that you cannot invest in REITs because this is your salary. Don't limit that. Do not limit your potential just because other people are not doing it. And the reason why I keep doing videos, it's because I want to create this awareness that investing should be normal. Investing should be part of the norm. Because as you all know, investing is not normal for Filipinos. We don't really like investing as much. We like my wife, like majority of people, check out, add to cart, Shopee, Lazada. Nothing wrong with that. But if you don't have investments, you don't have savings, sayang. And I really want to create as much information as possible, that if you're watching this and you're staying up until the end, it means one thing: this is something that interests you. So don't just wait, don't just let this remain as you being a subscriber and watching this video. I want you to execute. But also, please remember this: whatever I say here, don't invest just because I say it. Invest because you've studied it and it matches you. Because nothing at the end of the day beats knowing what you're getting into. Nothing at the end of the day also beats, you know, the risks, you know, the rewards, you know, the timeline, you know everything about the investment. Because at the end of the day, there will always be risks in those investments, and your goal is to know that risk and to know that if those risks will fit you. And I hope that's what this channel will do, that it gives you a framework that you know what you're getting into. So there. And if you guys want to know more about stocks, I've placed links in the descriptions also about different playlists about the basics of the stock market, how you can invest in US markets, what's fundamental analysis, what's technical analysis. They're all in the playlist section, but I've chosen a couple of playlists in the description below for those who want to know more about it. And for those who want to have a deep dive, I also have books about the stock market, 5 books. They're in Shopee. They're in the description below for if you want to know more about it. And if you want more learnings on it, I have online seminars in the description with Chinkitan, Stock Market for Everyone, a Tagalog session, then an English session with business, entrepreneurship, investing in the stock market with Shad C. So everything else is in the description below. Just scroll through it. There's a lot there, and I really do hope it adds so much value to you. And if you guys stay till the end and this is something that you saw that was helpful, appreciate the comment, appreciate the like, and if you have more questions, just put it in the comment section below. I'm gonna try to make videos off of it. Again, if you want to reach me and you have more questions, comment section or send me a DM if your question is private via Instagram. I hope that this is something that's informative. This is something also that's helping you, because again, I'll say this over and over. If you're in your 30s right now, like me, you have to use the greatest working moments, the greatest areas where you are at the peak, you are at the prime of your career, to save and invest and to make your money work hard for you, because no one will work harder for your money than you. So it has to be you. You have to make your money work hard right here, right now. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and roll the extra.